I realized soon into my career, and in fact, even at school, that the way I achieved goals was different to the way most people did. And it wasn't that I didn't understand how they did it, and I do like a very targeted approach, but I want more than that. I want the targeted approach, plus I want balance. I want to achieve more. I feel that with the amount of effort we put in, we can achieve more. And that is what the creatively functional lifestyle is about. Hello, and welcome to the Creatively Functional Lifestyle Podcast. Your host is Pam Miller, a mature digital nomad, an ex-nurse and a trainer with an MBA, loving natural and simple ways to navigate hiccups on my path. Welcome as I tread lightly yet make a positive difference on our earth. I hope I can inspire and guide you to get what you also have always wanted. The goal approach is often very linear, it's very hard, it's very focused. But it misses opportunities to look at other benefits to getting ahead. And even if those benefits might not be useful at the same time as the profit is reached or the building is built or whatever, it will pay off later because you've built relationships, you've networked, you've learned skills, you've done far more that provides a base from which you can move that the pure success of the project of money or building or whatever would not have given you. And if you want to make a difference to the world, if you want to be happy and fulfilled, you need more than a pure linear process. And this is what I call the creatively functional lifestyle. It's a creatively functional way of making sure that you're incorporating not only the physical, but also the mental and the spiritual and the emotional in your progression. Because if you're on a 6 month project or a year's project or a 5 year project because you're doing a degree or something, you need to be looking at the other things. So you would say to yourself, I'm going to achieve my degree, but at the same time, I'm going to be a potter, or I'm going to have learned to grow my own vegetables. And I'm going to have built up a network of people who I can rely on as I start my career. There's so many collateral things that they don't have to be damage, but collateral benefits that we could get through the creatively functional approach of getting ahead, achieving goals, but doing far more than that. Secondly, if you want to do more than just be an accountant or be a nurse, but you want to make a difference to the world, and so many of us do, you need to gain a few things which are often hurdles for the people with a feminine mind. Now, let me explain what I mean with a feminine mind. We have a spectrum. On one end is a very feminine person, on the other end is a very masculine person. And at the masculine end, you'll probably have far more testosterone than on the female end, which has far less testosterone, but then other hormones. And testosterone makes you very focused, it makes you very goal driven, it makes you very analytical. While the other end of the scale is the opposite. It's a more meandering, intuitive approach. The problem is that so often the one side can't reconcile reality with the other side. So people who are very analytical don't believe intuition is real. But what intuition is people who are very much on the feminine side read body language, incorporate facts that they're picking up from looking around, from being aware of things going on, not even consciously always. And they put together all of those findings. It's like a huge survey. And then they come up with a conclusion. And often they are right. If you're intuitive, it's not because you've got second sight. It's because you have an ability to see so much. Your subconscious, possibly your conscious, deals with it all and comes out with conclusions which you then work on. And it's very useful. Now, the feminine mind often has a few hurdles, though, because of the way we work. One of them is confidence. The more testosterone-driven mind, there's some statistics which I've read now. I want to do some more research, but just as an idea, a more masculine mind only has to be 25% believing in what they're saying for them to have confidence in speaking out. While for the more feminine mind, they need to be at about 90% confidence in what they're talking about before they are confident enough to speak out. and they need to be 100% researched before they will speak out. Now, that is me. I feel I need to research and check everything. But what it meant then that in my career, I would come across as hesitant, as always putting in extras. So when somebody said, "Do you think this will work?" I would say, "Yes, it would work if," which I'm seeing as researched, other people are seeing unconfident. And the people who blurt out their 25% confidence ratios, they're getting the jobs, they're getting the promotions. People like me wouldn't. And this led to even less confidence because obviously we don't understand the rules, we're not playing by them. But we also had to be true to our values, our principles, because a creatively functional lifestyle is very much about principles and values. The side effect of this is that you could feel isolated. Who do you talk to? When you speak to people, they give you the goal-driven, corporate recognized, even scientifically recognized approach of being very linear and going from A to B in a straight line. It doesn't suit the way our minds work, but it also suggests that the way our minds work is wrong, and that isn't true. You end up then with a third problem, which is you're not progressing. And then you start believing you shouldn't be progressing. And we come back to the first thing. If you need to be 100% research and 90% confident before you speak out, you will not put yourself forward for promotion. And even if you do, your voice, your body language will suggest that you're not ready. All of this is what has made me more confident that the creatively functional lifestyle suits us. Because it says, I choose to do more research, but I also choose to speak out. I choose to be selfish in the way I look after myself, but I choose to also look after other people, to create a world that is better, to be aware of the environment, to be gardening, to do podcasts, to talk about these alternative ways to live your life and to achieve your goals. Because ultimately it's all about achieving goals. There's no crime in achieving goals, and you do need to take action. And again, there's no crime, because achieving things is what will keep us looking after ourselves and keep us making a difference in the world. However, it doesn't have to be linear. I call it the more organic process, where it's got a far wider base. It's looking at relationships, whether it's with people or with principles, with things going on. And even if that development isn't useful in the project you're working on, it will stand you in very good stead later on when you've got a good network, when you've got good understanding of so many things that are going on. It's also not very number orientated. It's not that we don't do numbers at all, but it's measuring more intangible things. And we might use numbers in the way we approach it to say, I need to, for instance, speak to 3 people a day if I want to build a network. If I want to find people who can talk to me and understand me, I've got to speak to enough people. And that's when they say it's a numbers game. That is true. But it doesn't mean that speaking to 3 people will give me a certain amount of income, or that income is my only measure of success. We look at the physical, the mental, the spiritual, and the emotional to make sure that we grow and develop. Because a creatively functional lifestyle is very much a journey. It's a developmental journey. And as I said, 20 to 30 years ago, I started doing this. And I'm now at a really fast-moving pace. There was a period in which I felt as though I wasn't moving, but in fact I was gaining more skills, gaining more credibility because I'd been through some tough times. Ultimately, I want to get what I want, and I want to break that inner glass ceiling, gain the confidence, and remove myself from the isolation I feel I'm in. But I want to help other people do it as well. Mainly women, but as I say, people who are in touch with their feminine side and choose to work in this way and want help in looking at alternatives, in identifying your unique selling proposition that makes you different, that makes you succeed, but in a way that's not always recognized by the world. I'm going to be setting up a course, August to October, 3 months of the creatively functional way, in which we look at things, identifying what's holding you back in your personal development, which trait of yours is the one that's holding you back. But we'll also be looking at a supportive approach so that you learn how to build networks that work for you, that you build your confidence and you get out of your own way to create that supportive network and break your own personal glass ceiling so that you can use your USP to be the person you've always wanted to be and have what you've always wanted. And we need to start from the point of having what we want and be the person we need to be for that. So the creatively functional lifestyle, organic, non-linear, far wider, more intuitive, but not an airy-fairy thing. It's a very definite action-based process that we can work together on. So I hope that this has given you an idea of what my creatively functional lifestyle is. It's about being a complete human and achieving things and making your mark in the world and being proud to stand up and able to stand up and say, this is what I stand for, and I'm confident to say that. So I look forward to speaking to you again, and I hope that I will see you soon on my next podcast, and we'll speak to you then. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next time on this journey to what we want, a creatively functional lifestyle. You can find me on social media as well as YouTube and on my blog. All the links are below. Please subscribe, and you can drop me a note for an interview or a subject you want covered, and join me in this creatively functional lifestyle.